my
Yeah.
daughter is now saying, damn him, damn Trump, and smashing her hand on the table. How can you sit there and listen to this pig attack a reporter for doing her job
Right.
and call her pig, this Jim, a beautiful woman by all metrics?
Rosie O'Donnell probably just put on the biggest display of TDS I have ever seen. Now, Rosie O'Donnell sat down with Jim Acosta on his podcast for a little chat, and inevitably the topic of Donald Trump came up. And whenever he was mentioned, it was like a flip was switched in Rosie O'Donnell. Now, Rosie is probably the most original case, the biggest case of TDS that we have ever seen. But whenever he came up, she started shaking her fist. She got upset. She was in a rage, and she is blaming Trump, or rather, she said her daughter is blaming Donald Trump for making them move to Ireland for their own safety.
I hope you do continue to speak out. I mean, I know that you probably have some mixed feelings about the whole thing, but
well, you know what? I have to tell you, I'll tell you the truth. My daughter is now saying, damn him, damn Trump, and smashing her hand on the table. And I said, wow, honey, what are you thinking? And she said, he made us move in order for our own safety. And it's now he's destroying the country. You know, listen,
wow.
She lives here. She hears what I'm saying to you. Not that I go around speaking like this every day if it's not an interview, but I think to myself, you don't want to give this to her. You know, whatever this thing is.
I hope you do.
Now, if this is true, it looks like Rosie O'Donnell has passed on this brutal case of TDS down to her daughter. And it's also kind of ironic because in this interview, she says that she does not want to give this to her. And I don't really know what that means, but if I am interpreting it, it means this irrational fear of Donald Trump. She probably does not want to pass on to her daughter, which does appear exactly what she has done. If her daughter is pounding her fists on the table saying, damn Trump, and blaming Trump for forcing them to move to, I believe, Ireland out of their safety, that's another thing entirely. And I don't even know what to say to that. But ironically, Rosie O'Donnell is claiming that Donald Trump is suffering from dementia and he is in serious decline. And I think you can look at her and you can kind of determine that it's not Donald Trump who is in serious decline. It is her, and someone who has been ruined by Donald Trump. I mean, really, in all honesty, you kind of have to feel for her because Donald Trump has slammed her so bad so many times that she doesn't even know up from down.
DOJ IG just reported this year that there was thorough vetting by DHS and by the FBI of these Afghans who were brought into the U.S. So why do you blame the Biden administration for what this man did?
Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here, and you're just asking questions because you're a stupid person.
You know, listen, he's a disgrace. He's a disgrace.
Yes.
He's a disgrace. And if he were your grandpa, no one would let him carve the turkey because it's too dangerous for a man in his condition, and he probably can't stand that long to cut
take away the remote control.
This guy at Christmas or Thanksgiving at your house in a non-showbiz family would be excused for his atrocious, inappropriate behavior because of a thing called dementia.
Yeah.
Many of us have people in the families. We've loved people with dementia. If you don't see that that's what's happening, I don't know what to say to you. Again, a man who's ill and in serious decline, but the systems behind him that enabled him, that performed this 2-decade-long coup against the American government, those are the people that we have to address and start talking about.
So I'm pretty sure the irony is not lost on any of you that she is accusing Donald Trump of having dementia, and she's accusing the Trump administration of covering it up when we just got out of 4 years of an actual president of the United States that had dementia, a president who had to have all of his executive orders and pardons signed by an auto pen, something that Donald Trump has just declared null and void. And then you have Rosie O'Donnell coming on Jim Acosta's program saying that Donald Trump has obvious dementia and he is in obvious decline, all because he wrangles with reporters who sometimes ask some questions that he does not like. Remember, Joe Biden almost never talked to reporters. He hid in his basement as much as possible. But yet it is Donald Trump that has dementia. It is Donald Trump that is showing signs of serious decline. It is incredibly, incredibly ironic. And in another part of this conversation, probably one of the funniest parts of this conversation, other than when she started screaming at Trump that her daughter is blaming Trump for making them move, she explodes after Donald Trump calls a female reporter piggy. This probably touched a nerve for her for obvious reasons.
How can you sit there and listen to this pig attack a reporter for doing her job and call her pig? This Jim, a beautiful woman by all metrics.
And a great reporter.
And a great reporter, but literally a beautiful woman. And that somehow the president of the United States is allowed to speak to a reporter, female. Any other job, he would be fired for this behavior. Any other job in the country. If you work at Radio Shack and you treat your employees calling them piggy and stupid and, you know, you would be out of there in 5 seconds. But why does this guy get a free pass? Some distorted personality, some unbelievably preferential news media that dropped the ball. All of the Fourth Estate completely walked away from their responsibility in this democracy when he came down the escalator the first time, and they didn't rectify themselves with the second time.
No,
they
that's
really
right.
did.
You know, it seems to be lost on Rosie O'Donnell that probably the reason why the American public actually likes this is because the media has lied to us for so long. I mean, look at what happened during the COVID years. So to see someone actually wrangle with them, someone actually challenge them, it is very cathartic for the American people. And she just does not understand this because she's rich. She's an elite. She can go and do whatever she wants, basically. And really, this is the only thing in her life that is causing her stress. It is Donald Trump. And she literally blames all of her problems on Donald Trump. This is in stage TDS. And I've got to tell you guys, it ain't pretty. But it is interesting to see that Rosie O'Donnell is still raging against Donald Trump. I mean, Trump seriously broke her with that comment whenever he was in the debate and Megyn Kelly asked Donald Trump about calling women things. And he said, only Rosie O'Donnell. That is the 0 day is what they call it. That is the moment. Everything changed for Rosie O'Donnell. And I think that affected her so bad. It has reverberating effects on her life. And you can just see in her face that she is so consumed with hatred for this man. It has literally taken over pretty much her entire life, including the life of her kids. I mean, I know she has a daughter that recently got arrested in Wisconsin, believe it or not, I think, for possession of drugs or meth or something like that. I think she's still in prison. So, you know, it's really sad to see the decline of this family. But what do you think? What do you think of Rosie O'Donnell? Do you think she will ever recover from this TDS situation? I honestly think she might be a lost cause. It's very sad to see. But tell me what you think down below in the comments. Like and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. But until then, I will see you on the next one.